Well, the summer season is upon us, which means it's time for the kids to get out, swim in the pool, play, and just get outside.
And we want them to do so safely, right? Children's Memorial Hermann Hospital orthopedic surgeon Dr. Alfred Mansour is here to explain how you can prepare your family for some safe summer fun. Doctor, thanks so much for your time today. And let's start with water safety. Drowning is the leading cause of accidental deaths among children in the U.S. And this is something very important to keep in the back of our minds. Swim lessons are a great place to start, but you say it doesn't go far enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's so devastating to see that statistic, because this really is a preventable tragedy. And lots of kids have maybe been quarantined and have not had access to pools, and maybe would have had swim lessons early on, and now they're just, as things open up, people are wanting to pass up that time and that experience. But I would say you have to be so careful. You know, children need to be taught lessons. It's probably the most important thing you can do for your child as far as outdoor safety. We can't avoid water in Houston and the South, and so if we don't learn to live with it safely, then there are going to be some tragic occasions. So big things are, you know, swimming with an adult or somebody to supervise, preferably someone who's not in the water enjoying the activity, but is there really to keep family members safe, or a trained lifeguard, even better. Some parents are, you know, even moving toward taking CPR classes should the, you know, unthinkable event happen. But it's preventable. You can teach your kids. We have trained professionals to teach those kids, and just, it's something that we would love to say that it never happens.
I agree with you too. And you know what I've noticed too is now that I think our cool evenings and cool mornings, they're gone now, as we hear the heat is on, and so are the bugs. The bugs are coming back now. We've had a few rains. So let's talk about basically bug repellent spray, and also tick checks, because that's something that we need to do as well.
Yeah, embarrassed to say I'm the poster child for the tick checks, but did take my family on a little weekend camping trip. We found a beautiful nature trail. We talked about ticks. We talked about you know, wearing appropriate bug spray. Checked everybody on the way home, and sure enough, I found a tick afterwards. So they can sneak up on you, and you don't feel them when they latch on. They have a little medicine or a little anesthetic, so you can't feel them, but you got to be looking for them. Need to wear appropriate repellents. Some are made for kids and some are not, so you want to make sure you check. You can talk to your pediatrician if you're looking for a specific a dose of the repellent. Apply it daily, but make sure you wash it off so it's not sitting on the skin. But promise you, it's real, and it can happen even in Texas. So we want to make sure we're looking out for that.
Yeah, and you don't want those bugs. I know they're a nuisance, but they can also lead to some serious problems. Let's chat about sunscreen, Dr. Mansour. A lot of people underestimate just how much they need to apply in the first place, right? Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think you see those comedies, and they have like the kind of scatterbrained uncle who comes out looking all white everywhere from the sunscreen, but maybe he's got the right idea. I think that people want to spray it on, especially the commercially available aerosols. You can spray it on, and if you're in the wind, it goes and hits your neighbor's eyes, but doesn't get on your shoulders, and then we apply it and jump in the water immediately. But you really need to wait about 30 minutes before you get into the sun after you've applied. And then if you're going to be wet, if you're using a towel, if you're sweating, you need to reapply. It's not a permanent barrier. It's not Teflon or something. You gotta put it back on. It can wipe itself off.
Absolutely. Reapplication is usually what gets everybody in that burn, right? Well, let's talk about backyard safety, or just yard safety in general, because the playgrounds, you know, they're taped up, and those kids aren't going to those. So if you have things in your backyard, even like a makeshift one, you've really got to pay attention to the falls. And that's kind of what you're seeing an uptick in, with just sort of these different types of falls, not really playground injuries.
We are. I kid with the children that come in. I ask them if they were holding a banana when they were jumping on the bed. But we see, you know, a lot of bedroom injuries with kids jumping on the bed. Certainly the backyard playgrounds. A lot of them are on pretty dense soil, even if it's not concrete. If it hasn't rained in a while, it can be a pretty firm landing. And it's not the fall that hurts you, it's the stop at the bottom. It's gravity, I tell people. So you just have to be cognizant. It's fun when you're playing, but you want to know what happens when you take that fall. And so I think making sure you have a nice padded mulch or a rubberized surface really can cushion some of those injuries and make them a little bit easier if they happen.
And Dr. Mansour, thank you so much. We've got to leave it there because we're out of time. Helmet safety is a big one for both children and adults. No one is immune from a head injury. Dr. Alfred Mansour, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
And for more information, you can visit children's.memorialhermann.org or call 713-486-7500. We'll be right back.